Hello, everyone. I know I am almost 2 hours late, hour and 45 minutes later than what I said I was going to be when I was going to go live. But Robbie at Get Swamped was live, and I try not to go live when he's live. So I'm live now. I went ahead and did the second stitch line on this hat. Hi, Terry. I did the second stitch line on this hat just so I could get a good look and be able to show off how it's going to look. This is the back of the hat. This is the center back. I marked that last night. And hi, Beth. And for extra security on these seams, because of the way it's stitched, I went in and I did a cross stitching and across it as well to pull these seams tight. I can now remove these tapes because I marked the center back, so I don't need a piece of tape telling me this is center back anymore. I have to flip these pieces to be able to do this. But I'm kind of, excited about getting this hat finished for the person that wants it, that commissioned it. The tape always sticks where you don't want it to. Sticks really well where you don't want it to. Doesn't stick where you need it to. Hi, Miss D. Miss D is Dolores, correct? No, Donis. Donis, that's it. It's Donis. I got to think. Because I still have not caught up on my sleep from the weekend where I was staying up and not getting enough sleep. Because the event was in Atlanta, we just stayed home and drove back and forth, and that was not a good idea because that was taking out 2 hours of sleep time every night. Not the smartest idea I've had. So I think if they have me teaching next year, I'm going to get a hotel room. But yeah. So this is the center back of the cap. And this piece over here that looks kind of funky will eventually go away because this is going to be all folded back. And that's going to be at the top of the hat. And then I'll figure out how to finish off that top so it looks really nice and neat. I might be able to do some stitches inside and pull it really tight to close up any gap they might have in that centerpiece. So we're going to start on the next 3 pieces because this is it's 7 panels. It would be 8 if they would have divided this up more and put a seam down the center back. They could have turned it into an 8 panel, but did not. But yeah, so I have these 4 pieces, which are the front pieces. And I will start stitching. I will stitch up this one, then down this one, and then I'll come back and finish this one. Or I might just stitch this across and then come do this one. I'm not sure yet. I'll know when I get there. But I have my needle and thread already done. No fancy making it look like a rainbow like I did here, where I made it gradiate. I'm just going to do it because these stitches get hidden inside anyway. So you won't be able to tell what colors they are. Get this started. And again, there's 3 stitch lines on these. And what I do is with it right sides together, I stitch the 2 pieces together in this center stitch line. And then I fold it and stitch this stitch to this stitch line to this stitch line. And that's what creates this. So this is the center stitch line here. That's equivalent to this. And then this is this piece where this is the underneath flap here. And it just makes it look really neat. I mean, you could do it without all the fancy stitching on it if you really wanted to, but everybody deserves fancy stitches. Working with long strings today. Get this started. The hard part is you can't see because of having the because these have fuzzy backs. It is really hard to see where the holes are. The holes are there. They're just hard to see. But that's okay. I can manage this. I should be able to get this hat finished this week. And get it in the mail. I have 2 boxes here that I have to finish wrapping and printing the labels for. The shipping is already paid for, so I just need to do that before I go to bed tonight and stick them in the mailbox in the morning so that the packages can go out. I hope everybody had a good day today. It is Juneteenth, a day of freedom. The history is it was a day of freedom for slaves. So it is a celebrated day for many. Anyone that believes that all people should be free in the U.S. should celebrate Juneteenth. Many POC families absolutely celebrate it because it is the freedom of their ancestors. So happy Juneteenth to all who believe and celebrate. I guess our next big day of celebration in the U.S. is the 4th of July, which is Independence Day. Sadly, I get off that day, which falls in the middle of the week, not on a Friday or a Monday. I like when it falls at the end of the week because then I get a long weekend. Beginning or end. Mondays and Fridays are the best because then you get a 3-day weekend. This year, let me see, 4th of July is what day of the week? It is a Thursday. So I can debate if I want to take off that Friday and have a 4-day weekend. Because that might not be a very bad idea. Yes, I am streaming.
Sorry.
Why are you sorry? I couldn't hear you. My child just literally walked through. And see, this is, I'm not doing the outside stitching like this because this looks like someone dropped sprinkles on it. And instead I chose to do it different so that it comes up great with the gradient going through it. Oh, fun. I hope your PET scan comes out good and your blood work is returned good. That's never fun. I've been playing the procrastination thing about calling a doctor about the chronic pain in my hips and legs, because as much as I will promote you going, you as in the generic you of people, going to the doctor and the hospitals and stuff, I am terrible at taking care of myself in the same manner. And I need to stop, because this chronic pain is not getting any better. It's actually getting worse. And if I don't take care of it, I won't be walking around forever. I will not be able to stand up on my own 2 feet and get around. So I really need to take care of this. I'm not looking forward to it. I know that there's a good chance they will want to do knee replacement on my left knee. I've known for a very long time that was a possibility, that would happen in my lifetime. When a doctor tells you you may have to have a certain kind of surgery, I highly advise you to not look it up on the internet and look at said surgery happening, because it will terrorize you. I did that. I made the mistake of looking up what happens on a knee replacement. And that is one of the reasons why I have procrastinated on that. But when I see people posting in here, oh, I'm going to the doctor, I'm getting my blood work done, I'm getting a PET scan, I'm getting a CAT scan, getting x-rays done. And it's like people are taking care of their health, and it makes me happy. And then I remember that I don't take care of mine. I have a mouthful of cracked teeth from when I was a child. And I need to take care of that, which means they're probably going to just take all my teeth out. I grew up with epilepsy. And when I had a seizure, I would clamp my teeth down very tight. And at that time, it was not uncommon for whatever was nearby to be shoved into your mouth, to make sure you don't bite your tongue, or that your tongue doesn't slide back into the back of your throat and choke you. That meant pieces of metal at times, like spoons or mechanic tools, depending on where I was, which was really bad on my teeth. And I also grew up grinding my teeth when I sleep, which is also bad for your teeth. And on top of that, I ran face first into a brick wall skating one night when I was 11, 12 years old. I wasn't going to let that boy kiss me. And so I went into the girls' bathroom and I grabbed the brick wall like this, cupped my hand around it to whip myself into the bathroom. And I whipped it a little tight and smashed face first into a concrete wall. Those big cinder blocks. Yeah, I planted my face first into a big cinder block wall. And the visible damage was I chipped my front tooth. The invisible damage was I put hairline fractures in a lot of my teeth above the gum line. And so over time, that has gotten worse and worse. They've had to cap all of my back teeth due to the hairline fractures in my teeth from grinding my teeth. Some of them actually shattered in the process, so I've lost some of my back molars. I have lost one of my eye teeth. It literally shattered while I was eating something. And I have a 3-tooth bridge there, and I'm to the point now that, you can only put so many caps and bridges in my mouth before I'm kind of done with it, because they come with their own complications. And I'm about ready now to just say, take them all and give me new ones. Because there's nothing worse than you're eating something that's not even hard, and all of a sudden a tooth just shatters in your mouth. And that's exactly what my eye tooth did. I was eating like not an egg roll, a spring roll, which are soft. They're not deep fried. They're not hard. They're soft. And I was eating a spring roll and my eye tooth just shattered. So that's not fun because there's live nerves under all those teeth. But I've had root canal on one tooth, and that didn't go well. So there won't be any more of those going on in my mouth. So if they could totally deaden it, like deaden from the waist down, and fix it where I can't see what's going on, and put earphones in my ears where I can't hear what's going on, then I would be okay. But if I can hear it or see it, I'm not going to be okay whether I can feel it or not. And that's would be my rule for me being awake. And it's why I do sedation dentistry. The shots that they give you to deaden your mouth do not work on me. They have to use they have a maximum they can use per area, and it does not fully deaden my mouth. So therefore I have to feel what they're doing, and I'm like over it. I've done it for years of crying through it, literally crying through it, and them apologizing to me and me saying, it's not your fault that my body doesn't work the way it should with the medicine you're giving. And I can't use the gas that they use at dentist offices because it makes me nauseated and I vomit. And vomiting while you're laying on your back getting your mouth fixed is not a good thing. So I have had 3 surgeries on my left knee already. The first one was where they went in and sewed all my ligaments back together. The second one was where they took out a piece of cartilage. And the third one was where they polished the joint. I do not recommend ever getting a joint polished when you're bone to bone. For me, I don't know if it's true for everyone. And if it is, then yeah, I highly, highly recommend you don't do it. It was great in the beginning. All the pain went away, which is what I was after. But it didn't last long because it is bone to bone. So the bone to bone rubbing and the pain that goes with that came back within a short amount of time. And I'm talking a couple of months. And because I was pain free for that short time, my pain tolerance went down. Whereas pain that most people would voluntarily not walk on, I would walk and gimp around. Because I messed up my knee when I was in high school. So I kind of built up a really good tolerance for the pain. And now I still have a high pain tolerance, but it's just not as good as it used to be. So I feel my knee more now. And I know people that can't be put under, and, basically you have to lay down the rules of, you're going to deaden it and then you're going to poke around and ask me if I can feel it. And when you're 100% sure I feel nothing, then you make sure I can see nothing and hear nothing, and then you can proceed. But you will have someone monitoring me in case I start to feel something so that you're prepared to continue on and deaden me a little bit more. Because, not giving yourself panic attacks, anxiety attacks, or stressing yourself out while in the middle of surgery is extremely important. I have people dropping messages on my Discord. I don't know if you can hear the little bloop, 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 bloops. Apologies if you can. I am on some leather crafting and leather care groups, and some people are asking questions and other people are answering them. I am in a lot of info sharing type things. So yeah. But if they are able to do your knee in a manner that keeps you calm and gives you relief. I am happy for you. Please keep us informed because, yeah, that's important. That is very important. I just made the mistake of looking at what my surgery would look like. And that was a big, big mistake on my part. I admit it. I screwed up by doing it. I will never, ever, ever do that again. Because yeah, I've been talking to doctors about knee replacement for quite some time. And yeah. And then go this away, this away, that away, this away, that away. I go this away first. Not the center one. The next one. I'm talking to myself. Apologies if you. I'm trying to make sure I get these stitches in the right holes. Going a little backwards, but yeah, it'll work. Making sure that I get all these pieces stitched in the right spots. Trying to remember to keep this in the view. That's kind of like what I've been doing is I've been procrastinating on it. That it's like, well, you know, I'm fine. I can walk on it still. And I'm finally to the point of, you know, this is stupid. It's time to stop and say enough is enough. Yeah, and that's kind of where I'm getting to at this point of enough is enough. It's hard when you go to bed every night in pain. You wake up every morning in pain. And I'm to the point where I have to wear compression socks because when they did the last knee surgery to polish that joint, I have no clue what the doctor did. He did something wrong. That's what I can tell you. And I've had problems with my foot swelling ever since. And I hope I am on the right ones in there. Yeah. Making sure that I am on those center stitches too. So I'm kind of waiting it out until I can't take it anymore, which is almost there. I can't even walk to the corner in my neighborhood anymore without being in excruciating pain. So I'm thinking it's time for me to decide to do something about it. My knee is always swollen, and that's one thing I will talk to them about when I go to the doctor is if they do a knee replacement, can they please get rid of the chronic swelling that goes with my knee? And making sure it's going to get rid of the pain, because once I can get rid of the pain in my knee, then I can work on the pain in my hip that is caused from how I stand funny because of my knee. And that'll get rid of, then we can work on the getting rid of the pain in my hip. And I become more mobile, which means I can then actually do things like, I don't know, go for walks and do exercise, and then get my health under control so I lose weight as well. I know I'm capable of losing all of my extra weight. The biggest problem is, in order to lose the extra weight, I have to be able to move. I can't move, such as going for walks. When I was in much better shape, Jeff and I would every evening, we'd grab a walking stick in case we needed it because of animals, and we would just go for walks. And we would walk a mile or two every night. And we can't do that anymore because of me. He can, but he won't without me. Yeah, there's a limit on which pain meds they can actually give me that work, that do not make me loopy in the head. I do not like that feeling that a lot of drug seekers are looking for, that high feeling. I don't like it. It's very similar to the feeling I would get right before having a seizure. So it's very close to my aura, my seizure aura. And so I don't like that feeling. It's a very, very negative feeling for me. So any pain meds that cause that feeling are like, no, that's a big nope for me. The only one that does not cause that feeling is tramadol. But unfortunately, 50 milligrams of tramadol is not enough to truly get rid of my pain. It barely, and I do mean barely, takes the edge off. So it takes a level 8 pain to about a 6, if that. And I can't take higher doses of tramadol. It makes my skin crawl. When I had old people disease, I had bursitis in my shoulder. I could not move my arm. And they did an injection in the joint to make it heal itself. And they gave me tramadol, and 50 milligrams. I was still not sleeping well at all because of the pain. And he told me to up it to 100. And so I did, at doctor's advice. And that is when I realized, I understand now the drug addicts who, what they refer to as tweaking, and they're sitting there and they're just picking at their skin all the time, scratching when nothing's there. I understand that now, because if I take 100 milligrams of tramadol at a time, it makes it feel like there's something under my skin crawling around. And I did that once. I took the 100 milligrams as advised by my doctor, and I got that feeling, and I'm like, oh no, this is not going to work for me. Called the doctor back, and he told me, then take 50, wait 2 hours, and take 50, and do it every 2 hours to see if that helps. And if it still has the same effect, then put it 3 hours between pills. And so I did that, and it did give me a better pain relief, but still not enough to live on. I would have to have something that was more long-term that they do, like the epidurals they do. There is one they can do. They give you an injection in your spine to handle pain, and it lasts for about 3 months. I knew someone that used to get them done all the time. Well, he got them done every 3 months. I'm not ready to go that route, so I have to get this fixed because like right now I'm sitting still. Got my legs stretched out a little bit where my legs aren't bent, like bent 90 degrees, but they're not flat straight. And it feels like someone is using a hammer and chisel on my knee. Most people tell me I don't look like I'm in pain, and that's because I've dealt with this since I was a teenager. I was still in high school when I fell down the mountain and ripped all my ligaments out. So I've been dealing with the pain since then. So we'll just say the better part of 40 years. And so it's like this knee pain is not new to me. It just has changed over the years. And right now it is worse than what it's ever been. And I do mean ever. It didn't hurt this much when I fell down the mountain and ripped them. And ripped all my ligaments. Did not hurt this bad. Post-op, after they fixed everything and had me casted from just below my groin down to my ankle, did not hurt this bad as I'm having now. And they had me on Demerol and morphine in the hospital. But I can't function on that level of pain medicine. So it's time for me to put on my big girl panties, go into the doctor's offices and say, I need you to listen to the person that's owned this body for over 50 years. That would be me. And hear what I'm saying. And do stuff to fix it. I am not drug seeking. I hate the feel of that pain medicines give you of being high. But I love how they make it not hurt. And that's what I am seeking. Lack of pain. Yeah, part of it is my own fault for not taking care of it sooner. I had a doctor 20 years ago trying to talk me into getting my knee replacement done, and I put it off because I watched the surgery online. Stupid move. So it's on me. And, my husband is, are you going to call the orthopedist and get in to see someone about your knee? And I just have to do it. First is I do have to get my dental work taken care of, because being able to eat nutritious foods so that my body can heal appropriately is kind of important. Setting up one of the rooms in the house on the main floor for me will be important, unless we get things fixed in the downstairs in the basement. I could actually set up everything I need down here, but if I'm on the main floor, I have to pull some of my leather stuff up there, because I will have to have my leather working to do, in addition to my regular work that I do. And because I won't be able to go sleep in my own bed, because my bed is upstairs. And I cannot be confined up there. I cannot work up there, and I can't do it. So I would probably move into my living room, which is where I started out doing my leather working. So I'm quite capable of leather working in there. And I have a couch that has a sofa bed, so I can basically set up camp in there. I can bring my work computer in there and set it up on one of the things that I have. And immediately after I have surgery, I will have to do more like sponge baths anyway. So not having a full bath facility won't be an issue. Yeah. Yes, Terry, I know. Just do it. I have a few things I need to go to the doctor about. And it's in the US, I don't know how it is where you are, Terry, but in the US, when a female goes to the doctor and complains about pain or complains about anything to do with her body, when I go to the doctor, I know this for a fact, when I go to the doctor about my pain in my knee and my hips, the very first thing the doctor is going to say is, you need to lose weight. The problem is I gained weight because I could not move because of the pain. The pain is the root. The doctors will try to make my weight as the root of all the issues, when in fact, the pain is the root. Get rid of my pain so that I can go for my walks again, so that I will be more willing to run up and down the stairs, because right now it hurts me when I go up and down stairs, so I do it as little as possible. Yeah, you're not a female, and well, it doesn't mean you haven't heard females in the area talk about it. A lot of men in the US know that this is how it is. A lot of men have volunteered to go to doctor's offices with women, so that because if a man is present and says the same thing, like if I say my knees and hips are hurting, it's not my weight is an issue because of the pain, there's a high likelihood the doctor's not going to listen to me. But if my husband walked in and said, you need to fix the pain in her knee and hips and get rid of the pain so she can go back on her walks and get back in health, they would listen to him. It's ridiculous. I shouldn't have to take my husband with me to the doctor to get a doctor to listen to me. I've been in this body as long as it's been on this earth. I know it better than anyone. And the doctors should listen. When I get upset because a doctor's not listening, it's not because I'm having hysterics. It's not because I'm hysterical. It's because I'm freaking in pain and you're not listening to me. So I have to do some interviews with doctors, and that's basically my attitude is going to be, are you willing to listen to the person that has owned this body its entirety on earth? Or do you think you know my body better than I do? Because if you think you're going to know my body better than I do, then I need to fire you now and find another doctor. Because I have no fucks to give anymore when it comes to this stuff. Sorry for the language, but I'm just kind of over it. So yeah. And that is the part that I'm not thrilled about. I don't really love confrontation, but that's what it's going to take. I'm going to have to stand my ground and pretty much say, this is the way it is, or else I'll just fire you. I don't care. You can't provide the services needed. I will fire you. Because I'm not looking for drugs. I'm looking for solutions. Yeah, going for walks would benefit my husband. He is a type 2 diabetic. He actually has been losing weight. I'm proud of him. He's cut back on his food intake, eating healthier, paying attention to the carbs in his meal, increasing the proteins, lowering the carbs, eating more vegetables. He's been doing all those little things to improve himself. I am extremely proud of him for that. And I would like to be able to do the same. Absolutely. You go take yourself a nap and relax and chill and rest all your body parts. And we will keep you sending positive vibes your way that everything works out well. And I do hope they figure out a way to do it so that they can do your surgery that you need without stressing you out or having you feeling any of the pain. And I understand hospitals being exhausting. if I have to go into a hospital, I have mild anxiety that joins me at the hospitals. And that comes from being in the hospital with my late husband. Hospitals are not pretty places for me. They're not happy places. And so they're very difficult for me at times. But I know I'm going to have surgery. So I just need to put on the big girl pants and just do it. So Terry's going to be like, just do it. Do it, Tori. Take care of yourself, Tori. Go to the doctor. Terry's going to lecture me a little bit. And that's okay. Wow, that scar shows up really good on here. That is a scar. I was messing with a camper I once had. And there was a piece of the metal that got bent. And I caught it with my arm and it just ripped a layer of skin off. Okay, it might have been a couple layers. And so it left a scar, and I don't notice it that much, but when I pulled my arm up and I could see it in the camera, it's like, whoa. Yes, MZ, I'm going to suck it up and just do it. But see, by tomorrow, when I should be looking and calling a doctor, I'll forget. I mean, I'll have time because the work I'm supposed to finish by Friday, I've kind of finished today. But I'm not telling anyone at work because then they'll want me to do someone else's work that's procrastinating on getting their work done. And most of them won't help me if I need help. So I don't volunteer my time to help them. One of those things. I've given up helping people that help is one-way street with them. I can't wait to use some of these cabochons I have. I've got this hat, another hat, and 2 keychains on my commission list of stuff I know I have. I have to work with Joyce on getting her purse that she wants done. And I have MZ's has bought things for me towards the commission that we have to figure out what I'm making. MZ, have you thought about what you want with your commission monies? Are we making a hat or a bag, or is it a present for someone? I know what Joyce wants, and I have to, what kind of hat? Does he know what kind of hat? I can send him to I can send him to the website where I get most of my patterns from. I already own most of his patterns, or all of them. I think I own all of his hat patterns. Or he can you have my email address, correct? He can send me pictures of hats that he likes. And because I can alter patterns too. So, he wants a flat cap. Does he know what kind of leather he wants it made out of? Yeah, he wants a cow leather hat, or what color? You sent me an email? I don't remember seeing one. Let me pop over and check real quick. Inbox. Oh my goodness, I have a lot of PayPal messages. I have got to make PayPal stop sending messages to this email account, because every time I do anything with PayPal, it is sending my Leatherworks email account an email. So all of my auto pays that I put that go through there, which is a lot of them, are automatically going to that account, and they should not be. I think because I added this email account to my PayPal. So MZ's email is, I can't remember. Work to do. I think you might be in. Nope, that's not it. That's not it. Inbox. Oh, I have to select. No. It's still doing it. Back in February. So let me look. Let me look real quick, because I mean, I don't have a ton of emails in this account. That's a Rosie. That's a Emma. That's Tammy McTavish. Oh, why did it went backwards? That's Herman. Rosie. Okay, wait. Now that's who you are. Okay. You sent me one that says you were looking at getting a hat. But you did not tell me what hat. So that's what we have to work out, is exactly what is he looking for? It is coming along quite well. I have the back 3 panels sewn together. It did my phone. Oh, no, it's because I'm looking over here. So I have the back 3 panels sewn together. And you can see the gradient looks really good for the rainbow effect. I marked my center back. Yes, please do, MZ, because if I've lost that email because I'll put it in my commission list. I know what Joyce wants. I just have to sit down and really work my brain on it, because I have to custom make a pattern for her. And I'm working on stitching these pieces, 4 pieces together, which is the front. And then I will do the same thing. And I'm trying to change up so that none of these lines look exactly the same. So I'm changing up where in the thread I'm doing it so that these lines look different going around, to give it a really good visual effect. So yeah, I sent this to the lady who's going to be getting it. Doc, I don't think she heard me calling her lady. She might go, what? But yeah, I sent a picture of it. She loves it. She was like, oh wow, she's like, I wasn't quite sure how it would turn out. I had my thoughts in my mind and was hoping it would look good, and it looks awesome. So yeah, I'm actually going to move that out a little bit so people can see it while I'm stitching. This is the first time for me making this specific pattern, so I'm kind of excited about it and nervous at the same time. But I did tell Doc, if when I'm done with it I don't love the way it looks, I'll set it aside and I'll make another one. That's the risk I take anytime I'm working with a brand new pattern. So yeah. So if MZ is getting one of those hats, I will have to check my price list. I know you don't owe me any money. I just might owe you a little something extra. Well, actually, it depends on what leather it is. Okay, yeah, those hats are actually the exact same hat. It's just the leather makes it look different. So or does he want it in that kind of tone of leather? Because I can do it in any color. He wants it blue. I can make it blue. I can make it purple, black, green, orange. I mean, I can do any kind of leather. I mean, any colors. So he picks what color he wants. And, does he want stitching that accents like this? So a brown, a true brown or a reddish brown. I will pull some browns that I have that'll work for it. And see if I have anything that he likes. I can send you pictures of samples. What I normally do is I'll put it with I'll put black and white in the photo, because that helps set the tone, that you know what white looks like and what black looks like. And then look at the different ones, because I have some that are they're gorgeous leathers, and they're a reddish brown. And then I have some that are like a deep chocolate brown. Both of them are equally gorgeous, but the tone is very different. And so I'd want to make something like that. Which way does he want it? What color stitching does he want? Does he want the white stitching that's going to stand out? Would he prefer a stitching that's close to color matching, so to make it disappear? Because you can use your stitching as an accent, such as what Doc is doing here. Or you can make it totally disappear. If I stitch this in black, you wouldn't see it. From a distance, you would see no stitching at all. And I will need the head measurement of where the hat band will sit, measured in centimeters. Because that will give me a more accurate measurement of the head, centimeters over inches. Because that one is just a couple of days of work. Scott's took me a little bit longer because, one, it was the first time using the pattern, and two, I gave Scott too many options and he chose those ostrich legs. And so I had to alter the pattern. I had to split the pattern in the middle, in the front, because the ostrich legs were not long enough. And I had to do a lot of fussy work to line up the patterns of the natural hide so that it looked nice at the end of the day. The parts of the leg, the wide scales versus the narrower scales, would be consistent from the left and right, as much as possible. It took 4 different ostrich legs to make Scott's hat. And what I will do in the same leather is I will make a card wallet that will hold like your ID, a credit card, and a little bit of cash, and it will fit inside the hat brim. I've made one for Scott, and because of the nature of how the hat is made, there's a little pocket in there. So I will definitely do that and make that where he has that little pocket. Let me see, sheet 2. Oh, that's people's addresses. Look at that. This one is done. I need to have to move stuff. I move stuff when they from my commission list when they get finished. I move them down to the bottom and mark them as done. And then I have the ones that I'm working on at the top. This one is done. I need to get this shipped. I need to email this lady and ask her for her shipping address. I thought I was actually going to see her this past weekend because she normally goes to the same thing I went to where I was teaching. She normally goes to that. So I was bringing it with me there, and then she wasn't there. So I need to get her address and go ahead and package it up. That's the shoe purse. I'm going to be using up some leather that I have that I don't have enough for any major projects to make some minor projects. I have some ideas for shoe purses that will be quicker than the last one I made and will look awesome because I found some awesome shoes to use. Because I know some people that would buy them. And it will be a neat way for me to make a few $100 per shoe purse. And it will advertise me. And shoe purses are unique because it's either left or it's right. And because I buy my shoes at a secondhand store, the chances of me finding the exact same shoe to make duplicates is going to be slim to none. And because I'm using up leftovers from hides, the likelihood of me using the exact same leather on the exact same shoe is going to be like slim to none. And it's kind of how I like it. When I'm making stuff in advance, I like having stuff that is unique. So I need to take my commission list back up and go to MZs and put in here flat cap. Send pics. Okay. I did that, marked that. Move that here. Just got crazy that about the time I was Buy Me a Pretty Rock and I'll do a commission. Right after I did that, I started getting more commissions on hats. I got 4 hat commissions in a short period of time, which shocked me. And a friend of mine that I gifted a bag to, he took over a nursing. They were creating a nursing program at a university, and they came to him and asked him pretty much to be one of the people running it and setting it up. And he agreed to do so. And so I bought him a bag that he could use. And he wants me to make him a duplicate of it, but in a different color, so that he has options, because he's bougie like that. Oh, my fingers are hurting me. Might have to tape my pinky finger, because I grab the thread like with my finger here, and I pull it, and it starts to hurt right here. So I might have to stick a Band-Aid on my finger or some tape. Band-Aid would look neater than the tape, I'm sure. So yeah. And just so people know, I do keep a first aid kit down here, because I know that some people have seen me stick needles in my fingers before on accident or cut myself. I do keep a variety of first aid stuff down here, because you never know what's going to happen. The reality is, at the end of last year, I have a copay card that I pay into, an FSA account. And if you don't use it, you lose it at the end of the year. It's kind of like your sick leave. And I had a few $100s on it still. And there was no way on earth that I was giving this company my money. So I bought a wheelchair that I didn't need, that will come in handy, especially if I have to have surgery. But with my daughter having knee issues, there are times that she may need it as well. That was the whole point of getting it, so that we had it accessible because of our decrepit bodies. And I bought blood pressure cuff, a couple of scales, a couple of TENS units for my back, about 10 first aid kits. So we have first aid kits all over the house now. Some extra boxes of Band-Aids and triple antibiotic ointment, because I wasn't giving a company money, and they wouldn't let me carry it over. And I will do it again this year. I will see. I need to check with Robbie about any first aid stuff he might need, because if I have money left over on my card that I need to use up, I don't need any other first aid boxes. So I might buy some and toss them at Robbie. Because I'm not throwing my money away. It's just weird like that. Usually we use it to get our eyeglasses, but last year my prescription had not changed, and neither had Jeff's really. So we didn't need new glasses. So the money that we had set aside for glasses, we didn't need to use it. So I had to spend it. And this is where I need to get off my butt and get my dental stuff done, because I'm sure that I will use up the money that I know we're not going to need for eyeglasses, because our eyeglasses appointments are not at the end of this year. They're at the beginning of next year. So I will have an excess of funds again at the end of this year. Yeah, that's basically what I was doing. I get frustrated because I went to the store physically, to Walmart, and pick stuff up, and it absolutely would not let me buy it there. So I came home, logged into the website, put the same things in my cart, and bought them online. The exact same stuff I had at the store, I was able to put in my cart and buy, which was stupid. I might get a seated walker for Robbie to put at his place. Yeah, I did use the FSA store on Amazon as well. It's kind of cool now when I buy stuff if I buy stuff online at Walmart, it'll automatically check to see if it'll work on my FSA card, which is kind of cool that it automatically checks. Mm-hmm. I've got to figure out how to do this and make it. I know how to do it because I'm a smarty pants. Whew. I'll leave that loop there. These are going to wind up with threads on different sides of the hat, which I normally don't do. I usually put them together, but that's okay. And then what I'll do is loop that one in there. And loop this one here. And pull it hard. And that should make a nice knot somewhere. I pulled it fast to knot it tight. Secure this one. So yeah, a firm believer in using up your FSA. It's your money. You paid it in, use it. Use it to the best of your ability. Use every. I think I left like 32 cents in mine last year. My grandkids thought I was nuts because I was going back and forth between adding a box of Band-Aids and adding a triple antibiotic ointment. And they're like, how many triple antibiotic ointments do we really need? I said, as many as it takes to use up all my money. You know, why do you need 2 TENS units? Because it uses money. Why are we getting a wheelchair? Because it's a big expenditure and it uses money. But seriously, if I can get like a bariatric, a walker for someone that has bariatric surgery, which is, that means it holds heavy weight and has a wider seat, I might get one. I will talk to Robbie because that would be something he could keep at the farm in case someone needs it. And they fold up so they don't take up a lot of space. And that would use up the money I refuse to give to people I don't know, therefore don't like. And helping Robbie with something. Or if he needs first aid kits, I can use some of it to get some first aid kits and send down to him. Because I know having first aid kits are always a good thing. They only let us carry over a small amount, sadly, from year to year. And we have until March, but that's to put in the claims. So therefore, the money had to have been spent prior to that. It had to have been spent the year. Ouch. Okay. Just have to burn these. One of the reasons for hammering the threads, is because this is a waxed thread. I've shown that before, that there's wax impermeated into the thread, and tapping on the seams like that, it pushes the wax into the holes. And after the way I'm stitching it and everything, it'll make it where if the hat is worn into the rain, it is less likely to get the person's head soaking wet. If someone absolutely wanted it, I could do beeswax coating of beeswax on the inside and seal these seams. If someone actually requested it, I would do it. But yeah. Oh, I can't wait to make another flat cap now. MZ, you got me excited about that one. It was really weird because I put off doing that pattern. It's like, that's an old man's hat. I'm not doing that pattern. I'm not doing that pattern. No one would wear that hat. And then Scott saw it and was like, Scott was describing to me what he wanted. And I pulled up my patterns. I saw that one. I sent him a picture of it. He goes, yeah, that's what I'm asking for. So I was like, oh, great. I get to make the old man hat. And then I made it and I fell in love with it. It is fun to make. There are options you can do to it. It's not that many pieces. You can actually use different leathers on it if you wanted it to be multicolored. It's easy to alter the pattern if needed. So there's a lot of things you can do with it, but overall, when you make it, it comes out, it just looks good. It looks good. And I never really paid attention to how many guys actually wear those hats until I started making them. And I have people that want them, but when you tell them what the price is for a commission piece, they're like, oh, that's too much money. It's like, sorry that you want to buy mass produced instead of custom. But I specialize in what I specialize in. I specialize in the true bespoke goods, not like some mass produced people call it bespoke goods, and they're not. Because by definition, it cannot be bespoke good and mass produced. It's either or, can't be both. Bespoke goods are custom made to specific specifications for an individual. Mass produced stuff is not. And every one of my items that I make, I print the pattern when it's ordered to the size they want. And I do change if someone is between hat sizes, I alter the sizing of the pattern. I'll use a pattern size larger than what they need and then print it at a smaller percentage. So I might print it at 99.5% to get it to actually the specifications of the client. I'll make it where the stitch holes are closer together, but not farther apart. Just because of the nature of how it looks. When I do that, it can cause me to have more work because I may have to punch each hole one at a time instead of being able to punch multi-holes at one time. But if you are between sizes, I would rather make you a hat that is between sizes, that is exactly what you need, than make you wear a hat that's a tiny bit too big or a tiny bit too small. So so your son is my daughter's age. They're close in age. She's, I think, 37 now. Or she's 36, going to be 37. I can't remember. I have to math. I can't remember all. This is ADHD. My daughter is 36 and she's going to be 37 this year. Yeah, she her birthday is in August. She was born in 87. And those birthdays haven't happened. Her birthday hasn't happened yet. So she'll be 37 this year. Actually, that might be an era of when those hats, other than the old men, that might be an era of when those hats came back, because that is approximately what Doc's age is as well. And she wears one. I'm dealing with my sinuses causing somewhat of an upper respiratory thing going on, and it's breaking up now since I'm home and away from the allergens. It's terrible to be allergic to your yard and then to be highly allergic to most things planted in the city in which you moved to be close to. So yeah. Yeah, I got because I'm putting them around the house, I got these first aid kits, which meet the OSHA requirements. And then I added to it. So it has full size triple antibiotics because it comes with the little, these little things here. So it'll give you sting relief and antiseptic towelettes. And your antibiotic ointment comes in these little individual packets. And that's not good enough. So I bought the full-size triple antibiotic ointments because I needed to spend money anyway. And I include that in there. It has everything you need. But it comes with some bandages. It came with some of these bandages. And I just added a ton, a whole box more. It comes with its own cold pack, some gauze. I'm guessing this is also some gauze. It's in or it might be a cast maker kit. I don't know. I have to look it up. Some tapes and stuff like that. So I added to it to be everything I needed and then some. And 90% of the stuff that's in here is not stuff that I will use. It's not stuff I need. Come with a really good pamphlet that goes over different things. What does an allergic reaction, anaphylactics look like? How to handle bee stings and life-threatening external bleeding and breathing emergencies. That's the only thing. I need to get a bigger one and put a first aid mask in it. A one-way air valve mask. But this is a cute little booklet. It gives you some basic information. If I need to get one that has the one-way masks in it, breathing masks, so that I can help someone giving CPR if necessary, because I will not put my lips on someone's mouth for obvious reasons nowadays. But it's a nice little book that came with it. But so I need to get one of those, move everything to a bigger case, like a small toolbox type case. And paint it with the Red Cross on it or first aid or whatever. And have it put it in my car. Because I think every automobile should also have a first aid kit. So there's my philosophy on that. You come upon a wreck, and if you are capable of pulling over and helping, you should. My opinions. I'm not telling you have to, but in my opinion, if you can, you should. It goes to that see something, say something. If you can do something, then do it. And sometimes doing something means you're not physically capable of actually helping at something, but as far as helping the individuals, but maybe you can direct traffic or control the crowd or make some phone calls or whatever. You can still help, even if you can't physically help lift someone out of a car or something like that. There's things that can be done. My daughter came upon a wreck, and it was some schoolgirls, and she called someone over, and the lady's like, there's nothing I can do to help. I don't know what to do. I wouldn't know what to do. And my daughter says, reach out, hold this girl's hand, and tell her everything's going to be okay. Help is on the way. And that is exactly what the lady did. She thought she was totally useless in that situation, but she was hanging around because she had witnessed it. And so she was waiting for the authorities to arrive because she was a witness to what happened. And she thought she was just useless other than being a witness. And my daughter was like, nope, you're not useless. Do something. Made the lady feel useful. The reality is the crowd thought that the girls had perished in the wreck, and they had not. Until my daughter stopped, nobody was doing anything to help these girls. 3 school-age girls slammed into a brick wall, and everybody thought the girls were goners, because when they went up to the car, it was really bloody and nobody was responding to anybody. So none of the people that had stopped knew anything about how to check a pulse or anything. So they didn't, and I just did this from the wrong side. So they didn't check pulses or anything until my daughter stopped. My daughter was in nursing school. So she stopped, and when she went over to the car, everybody's like, oh, no, there's no use in going over there. And she's like, I have to. And my sister went over to the car, and sure enough, she had pulse. And that's when she called for someone to help her. She verified that they had called 911 and said, if need be, call back and tell them that these people are alive and they need to hurry up and get here. And that is exactly what the guy did. He called and asked them to speed up getting there. And they did. All girls survived. Some better than others. The one that had her foot on the dashboard broke her leg at the hip when they had the impact with the brick wall. Her leg went up next to her ear. So she wound up with a broke hip. Hers was, I think, one of the worst injuries. Other injuries were like broke arms and stuff like that. But she broke her hip. She broke her leg at the pelvis region. This was a long time ago. You figure I've been doing my job for 30 years, over 30 years, and my sister got out of school after I did. I was working at the time. She was still in school. My sister was about 2, even though she's older than me, she was about 2 years behind me in college. Took her a quick minute to decide she really wanted to do it. That she really wanted to do and become the thing that she said she wanted to be since she was a baby, since she was a little girl. So yeah, kind of cool in that regard. She was able to be there and help. Her instructor was not amused and asked her why she stopped to help. And her response was, because I'm going to be a nurse. If I can't stop to help an individual on the side of the road, then what am I doing this for? And what was interesting is, like my sister wasn't even worried about the blood. That was not top in her mind. It was 3 teenage girls slammed into a brick wall and need help. And one of the guys that showed up, one of the cops that showed up at the scene, my sister reached in and grabbed the girl's purse to pull the ID out for the officers. At that time, where we were living, a male officer could not go into a female's purse unless there was suspicion of illegal activity, such as having an illegal firearm or drugs. So he could not go in and check on the ID to see who the girl was, and the female officer was en route, but would take a while. So my sister says, I'll open it. What are you going to do? Throw me in jail for it? Give me a ticket for opening someone else's purse? And she reached in and grabbed the girl's purse, opened it up, pulled out her wallet, flipped open her wallet, and her school ID was in there. And the cop yelled out that he needed help. That was his neighbor's daughter. And his neighbor was out of town. And so the daughter was staying with a friend. They went to the Catholic school. The daughter was staying with a family, with the friends of the family. Mom and dad's over in Europe or something like that. And he had to find a way to get in touch with them. That's what happens when you live in small towns. You know, everybody knows everybody. It's one of those things. If a cop would have been called to my house, I would know the officer that showed up. If there was a fire and the fire department showed up, I'm going to know who they are. You know, the mayor, the guy who was mayor when I was an adult, when Hurricane Katrina hit, he went to school with my cousin. You know, we all knew each other. That's the wrong hole, but that's okay. I'll put it in the 4th hole instead of the 5th hole. That's okay. As long as it's consistent. So yeah, that's what happens when you live in a small town. Everybody knows everybody. You know, even the young kids that were younger than me that grew up, if I went in and saw a kid that was 5, 10, 15 years younger than me, I could tell them who my mama was. And they would know me because they knew her from when they were in elementary school. So yeah, everybody knows everybody. The downside of that is when you're growing up and you do something you're not supposed to do, and you see someone that you know knows your mama, you have to beat feet home so you can go tell mama what you did wrong before she got the phone call telling her what you did wrong. You know, you tell people, oh, I go hang out with the mayor all the time, kind of thing, you know. And they're like, whoa, you must be important. Nah, he's a good friend of my cousin's, you know. He was that ordinary kind of guy. When Katrina hit, the mayor was, after Katrina hit, you could find the mayor sleeping. Hi, Marcia. Sleeping at the firehouse with the firemen. He refused to leave. And he refused to take a FEMA trailer until all the other people in the town had one. He wanted no special treatment. You know, I could call the firehouse and let me speak to Eddie. And I would talk to the mayor. Hey, Eddie, you probably don't remember me. I was younger than you, but you went to school with my cousin. And tell him my cousin's name. And then he'd be like, oh, well, you're so-and-so's daughter. Yes, kind of thing. I took relief effort down after Katrina, and that I went to see Eddie because they set up, it was like a store. They set up like a store at the firehouse, but it didn't cost anything. But they had it set up. They used tables and what shelves they could find and stuff, and basically set up like a market. And Oh, you need toothbrushes, toothpaste, mouthwash, feminine hygiene supplies, toilet paper, bleach, all that kind of stuff. So people donated to me. I distributed to where I knew needed to be distributed, and all the excess stuff went to the firehouse, which I had already promised to take blankets to the firehouse because the firemen were sleeping on concrete floors. And while it seems kind of strange taking blankets to the South in August, or August, the hurricane happened in August. So this is October when we went down. It was still fairly, really warm. And people are like, why would you bring them heavy blankets? And it's like, well, first of all, it's not going to be warm forever. And second of all, blankets under your body on a concrete floor make a big difference. And so I showed up with blankets and the firemen were happy. I told them I had a trailer load of stuff. Eddie yelled out. Guys showed up, said, where am I going? Pointed them to the trailer. Was in there giving Eddie a list of what we brought. And by the time Eddie and I walked outside, the trailer was empty. And they were already setting it up in the free store. And kind of cool. He said it's kind of cool that people aren't being greedy or anything like that when they come. It's like we have 4 children. We need 4 toothbrushes. They didn't take 6, or 5. I need 4. Or, and it's like grandma don't even have any real teeth. She doesn't need a regular toothbrush. We can get by with one pack of toilet paper. That kind of thing. People were really good about sharing. If someone brought them an excess of stuff, they brought it there and shared it. So it was kind of cool. We had a whole chain of stuff going on. People were sending clothes. I was arranging for people to send boxes of clothes down there, and my mom and sister were distributing them. A lot of the senior citizens, when the hurricane came, went to the senior citizen center because of where it was located. It was located in an area on high ground. So a lot of them left their homes and went to the senior citizen center to wait out the hurricane because it was a safer space. And then their homes got blown away, so they became living in the senior citizen center until something could be done. And with that, they lost their clothes. So my mom would go up to the senior citizen center when they had boxes of stuff come in, and people would go through and get what they needed. And then when they set up FEMA camps, that's what we called them. Basically, they set up FEMA trailers at the schools on the playgrounds. So people whose homes were blown away in the hurricane had a place that they could have a home set up. So basically, they set them up in a trailer on school property. So that they had a place to be. Oh, I can't see. I'm going the wrong way, that's why. So yeah, and then my sister also, a lot of the places that were the official distribution centers for clothing would not take used clothes. I had a church. I think they were down in Florida. And they collected the clothing, washed the clothing, sorted them by size, washed and dried them, sorted them by size, and inspected them for damage. Anything that was damaged, they pulled aside and used that fabric to make quilts. But they, they sorted through them, and then they bagged them, and it would be like women's size 5s, women's size 6. And they sized everything like that, and everything was very clean. And the normal clothing distribution sites would not take them. They only wanted things brand new with tags on. So my sister had a van, and she took off, and she went to this really small town that most of the distribution centers and relief efforts just passed over. And she was driving down the road, and it was after winter started coming, so it was getting cold. And she saw some people cutting tree limbs and stuff off the property, trying to get where they could recover their house. And she stopped and asked them if they needed jackets and gloves, and they did. And then asked if they knew any place where that would use them. And they pointed my sister to a church that was there. And, she showed up and asked for the sister that they told her to ask for, told her what she had in the van, told her it was all used items, but they had all been washed and they were sorted by size. The lady asked my sister how much of it could she take. And my sister said all of it. A group of guys showed up, asked my sister to open it up and point she wanted them to take. She did. And 10 seconds later, her van was empty. She had gotten a text from the nun, the sister from the church, and told her that nothing went to waste. That every piece of clothing was taken by a human and to be worn. From the smallest baby clothes to the largest adult size, every piece was used. So when they sent me the second shipment of clothing, my sister automatically took it down there. And so that was, it made me feel good to orchestrate, even though it was minor in a lot of ways, but orchestrating that effort. Being that I was so far away, it made me feel better about myself. I went through a lot of guilty feelings of not being down there in Mississippi and being able to help the family when all the stuff happened with Katrina. So this was my way of getting through it. And Marcia, I am sorry you had a rough day today. Did your physical terrorist get a little hard on you today? Yeah, he was wondering about where you were, but he was also packing stuff up. He asked about, has anyone seen Mom today? Like he always does, because he always worries about you. This hat's going to be so pretty. My sleep schedule is way off still. My intelligent self it's 45 minutes from the house. We'll just drive back and forth. No reason to get a hotel room. Was not the brightest thing, because that means that's 2 hours on the road. That means I have to get up early. That's an hour lost in the morning, and I don't get home until almost an hour later. So that's almost an hour lost there. So that's 2 hours of sleep time a day I was missing because I was driving back and forth. Not the smartest thing. I'm not as young as I used to be. Oh my goodness. Marcia, if you need someone to talk to, when I get off the live, please feel free to call me. I understand what it's like sometimes to be dealing with stuff, and sometimes you just need someone that can hear you. Don't have to understand it necessarily, but you need someone to be able to hear you. That's unaffiliated. Been there, done that. So yeah. Ooh, that color is pretty. It's blue and it has like the slightest green coloration in it. So yeah, I like it. And see, like the purple, you can see. Look at little purple they give. Just little bits. Give red this huge long line. You give blues a long line. But just these little bitty tidbits of purple in here. What is going on with that? I'm going to contact these thread manufacturers and say, you need to put the rainbow out there and evenly distribute it. We need equality for the purple here, man. Give purple equal visibility, man. Us purple people demand it. Because it's like you only get 1 or 2 stitches of purple on the hat because of this. And even if I'm starting it out with the same colors, it's like this one is going to go red or blue, red, yellow. And the other one that started in blue went blue, red, green. So I'm trying to make it where it changes it up. I know. I think it's really trashy of them to like ignore the best color on earth. It's royalty. This is going to be cool. Very cool hat. And then I'll make another garrison cap, which will be different because it's only, because of the thickness of the leather, it's only going to be 1 layer. I'm not doing 2 different kinds of leather smashed together type thing. And then 2 keychains. And then I get to work on an MZ hat. Whatever, MZ. Purple is royal. Red is your fire, blue is your water. Yellow is the sun. Green is the plants. But purple is royal. I like purple and teal together. And I had a oh crap moment with one of my thingies, but I can fix it, I think. Because I used JB Weld. Let's see if I can find it. Where'd it go? I know it's in here. I had one of them The dude, his head fell off. I might have taken it out of the cap. I did. Must have. But I had one of them. There it is. There he is, at least. Where'd it go? Well, I thought I had it. Maybe not. Yeah. His little head fell off. His wire is in here too. You can see his little wire in here. Where'd it go? There it is. It's the first mishap I've had. Poor little fella lost his head. So I'm going to get some JB Weld. He mixed me up just a teeny bit. And I'm going to dip the end of this in there. And then I'm going to stick him on. I'm going to have to put this somewhere. And then stick it together. Because I'm not throwing it apart. Because I think I can fix it. I think I can fix it. Yes, I know you have to have red in order to make purple. But purple is still royal. My daughter's trying to sneak by as if you guys can see her. Actually, it's funny because usually if people ask, I would tell them that I'm not really a yellow person. But yet, when Kendra had that sulfur, I think when I pulled him apart, like when I tried to pull this apart, it didn't release well enough. And I yanked the post out of his little head. And that's okay. I can fix it. It's not broken. It just came apart. Like I said, I use JB Weld. I have JB Weld and I'm not afraid to use it. And JB Weld can hold an engine together. He can hold this little fella's head on. You see? That's all the stitching you get for purple. That's all that shows up. One stitch. Blue, one purple stitch. Crappy. I need to see if I have something to drink down here. If I need to ask somebody to bring me something to drink. Oh, I have some regular water bottles. I think I have. Yeah, that's a whole water bottle. Thank you, Marcia. Fitting. A yellow sulfur piece for a yellow submarine. Put my drink mix, my melon drink mix in my water because I do not drink water on its own. Not a fond of it at all. I'm trying to make a trade with Kendra for a piece that she has now. I asked her about the piece long ago, and she said it was her piece that she wasn't planning on selling it, but when she got ready to sell it, she would let me know. So She told me she would sell it to me. She also wants me to make her a bag. So I give her money for her to give it back to me, or we make a trade. I think making a trade's a good deal. You want coffin purse. I want your fluorite. You know, I think it's fair. Because that means I didn't buy myself another large piece. I traded for one. That's different. That's just like if someone else buys the piece. I am not buying the piece. MZ bought me a couple of pieces. I didn't buy them. But I can't believe my family told me I need to consider cutting back on how many rocks I have and not getting any more. And I don't know what their malfunction is. I really don't. I think it's because they're afraid I'm going to get another cabinet and find a place to put it in the house. I mean, I have some that I have a room that has walls that are empty. Oh, that big cabinet would work on that wall. Then I could get a different cabinet to put there. I'm sorry, I'm thinking out loud. Because I have the one that separates in the middle, and it would fit on one of my walls in my living room, and my blanket chest would still fit underneath it in the middle. It's actually an old wall unit that is made to go over a bed, like a headboard. So it's like a built-in bedroom entertainment center. It has slide outs for your CDs or DVDs and glass cabinets to put cool stuff in. And basically the bed goes right in the middle of it. So it's like a whole wall unit for a bougie bedroom that is not being used in that capacity at all. It is separating my entryway from my sitting room. And the center place where the bed would normally go. And this one adjusts to fit like a twin bed up through a king bed. And that center section, I'm actually going to retrofit it with a hanging rod. Because for some reason, someone thought making an entryway into a house with absolutely no place to hang coats. And so I would like to have some place to hang coats and stuff. So, yeah, I'm going to make it happen. I'm going to come up with a way. I'm either going to make some doors, folding doors or something to go over that section, or I'll hang a curtain. But I wanted it because the cabinets, the top cabinets on each side are glass front cabinets. Glass front cabinets are called crystal cabinets. And the pullouts where the DVDs would normally get, DVDs and CDs would go, are actually big enough to put a pair of shoes on each shelf. So our grab and go shoes for running out of the house go there instead of having piles of shoes sitting in the floor. And there's space to put gloves and stuff like that. I keep some of the hats, some of the fancy hat type stuff. I keep them in vintage train cases, and those fit perfect in the cabinet, in the bottom of the cabinet on each side. And you know, when you can get a cabinet that fills a need, because I needed a divider, a room divider, basically. I wanted a room divider and a cabinet, so all in one. And you get it for $30 at the secondhand store because they don't realize what it is they have on hand. Hey, I'm good with that. I love my secondhand store that I go to. If I would have thought about the room in the living room, the space in the living room, I would have bought another cabinet last weekend before last, when Topher and I went out, because they had one there that was really cool that I didn't get because I didn't think of where I would put it. Topher could use something like that in his room, as long as he can put his desk or his bed with it, because his room is fairly large. I'm really surprised my daughter didn't try to steal my cabinet because of the size of it. The one that goes with the bed, I'm surprised she didn't try to steal that for her room. But in reality, when she moves out, it might wind up in there. I don't know. My brain is always thinking about how to recover my space once she moves out. Yeah, there was nothing at this door. You walk in the door and the stairs are directly in front of you. Slightly to the left of that is the hallway that goes down into the kitchen, dining room, and living room area. And immediately open wall, there's no wall, it's just open space into the sitting room. Which, yeah, some people like it, some people don't. I don't know. But I always thought that if I wanted to have a larger group of people over, with my dining room the way it is, the dining room is small. I can open the double doors between the dining room and the sitting room and expand my dining room into the sitting room for an event, for having guests over. But I wouldn't want to do that and have the entryway to the doorway right there open. So yeah, it's just preference of things. One day my daughter will move and probably Oliver will go with her. Topher will probably not go. He would much rather stay here with me. because he told me he was going to take care of me when I was old and decrepit. And yes, those are the words that child did use. Oh, I won't get empty nest syndrome. I'll actually start being able to do the things in my house that I had planned. I bought this house with the intent of doing certain things to it. My basement space, where my daughter uses, is supposed to become my sewing room. And I have all of my vintage machines sitting in storage that I would love to bring home. So I have all that to bring in that I am planning on bringing home in time. There we go. And get all that done. Then I will be able to set up my area here in the basement. In my big room, I will be able to set up some sewing machines and stuff in here and some leather care stuff, leather areas, because I had originally was going to be teaching classes. It will also give me space to have my laser cutter set up, which eventually I have to find some time to get that done. Get that finished setting up. It's just too hot to have the windows open to set up all the ventilation stuff. But I will get that set up, and it'll give me more space to have all that stuff set up. Topher says he's going to stay with me until I die because he doesn't want his old grandmother, who is old and decrepit, to have to go live in a group home or anything, and wants to make sure his old decrepit grandmother eats and is well cared for. I am not worried about the empty nest syndrome. I also have friends in other states that actually come to the area, and they all wind up in hotel rooms. And it'll be just easy enough to say, you don't have to stay in a hotel, come stay at the house, kind of thing. Excuse my congestion. And so having space so friends can come over and hang out will be nice. Stitch line number 1 completed. What is this one going to look like? Let's just continue with this. Okay, I'll do it. For the front of it, this will work. And I will hammer the heck out of these stitches when I'm done with the whole line. I don't think I'm going to get true empty nest syndrome. My daughter has left before. And it's like, no. I am looking forward to her finishing school and being able to move forward with life again. She was doing it before until she got injured at work. And then that became a no-go due to her injuries. Not being able to do your job. You know, she was going into management, but that was going to still require her to be on her feet And when she injured herself and that became a reality that she was not going to be doing that, the doctors flat out told her she cannot be doing a standing on your feet 8 hours a day job. Even if she wasn't doing the hard labor and doing the management part, she still couldn't do it. So that's, go back to college and learn something that requires you to sit on your butt. And so that's what she, come home to mama and let mama take care of you while you go through this process of evolution, new changes. And like I said, I don't think Topher will ever fully move out. He might move out into a tiny house in my backyard. But I don't, unless I hit the lottery, then he'll move to the house next door when I buy it off the neighbor. I figure I'll just show up with large sums of money and ask my neighbor how much he'll sell me the house for. I want your house. Sell it to me now, please. Thank you. Kind of thing. And him not having to pay any out-of-pocket expenses for stuff. As far as dealing with the closing and all that kind of stuff. We'll do inspections and make sure do the value of the house, make a decent offer, get the house, and move on from there. And basically incorporate that piece of property into this one. I would build a covered bridge between the two houses. Somewhat. So yeah, it's actually stuff we've actually thought about. And then Topher could have a place to live on his own while still having the benefit of his grandmother next door and easily accessible if he needs any help learning how to be an adult in this world with having autism. So it's kind of a hybrid situation where I'm here if he needs me, but he gets to be an independent individual, which is his goal in life. As a person with autism, he wants to be able to be self-sufficient. But at the same time, he's terrified. So I figure I'll have him around until the end of life for me. Hopefully, if I ever need full-time care, we will be in the position to be able to afford that. And that someone, and he would be able to offer someone, well, you come and you take care of my grandmother these hours, and you are provided with a place to live and food to eat. And this much dollars. I mean, obviously, you can give someone a lot less pay if you're providing them with free housing and food. You kind of deduct that from what you would normally be paying them. And you come to an amicable agreement that becomes beneficial for you both. And then I could convert part of the house to an old lady house. Reality is, I could convert the entire basement to a house of itself. Because it does have a full bath down here. And there is a room in here that I could put a kitchenette in. The smaller of the two rooms would make a more than adequate room for sleeping and stuff. And the big room that I'm currently in is more than adequate for setting up a living room. One day I might sell off some of my antique and vintage sewing machines. You just have to be careful with who your audience is and make sure you have people that actually understand the value of such items. It's nothing like owning a 1881 sewing machine and having someone offer you $50 for it. Or having one that they made a limited number of and they only made the machine in England. And then have someone offer you a little bit of nothing for it. It's like, rather have it on my shelf over here. So what am I going to do about the empty nest thing? I'm going to enjoy. I'm actually going to enjoy it. Try to enjoy the house the way I intended when I first bought it. I think I'll be okay. It's always that one stitch that's off. One of the threads is off slightly from the other, so it does that hiccup stitch. Here's what it is. I can't be perfect all the time. Mommy's in the process of making the threads. They didn't make them consistent, the sections consistent. I'm actually going to try to go to bed at a reasonable time tonight. Ha 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 ha. I've been having a lot of trouble getting to sleep at a reasonable time. It's like I'm tired during the day, but when the nighttime rolls around, I'm like, second wind, wee, let's go. Which kind of bites that it is that way. Because then I don't want to go to sleep. And that's been happening to me the last couple of nights. So I've been struggling to get myself in bed. And when I have these troubles doing these things, I'm just going to have to remember Terry's words of, just do it. So that's what I'm going to try to convince myself of in a little bit, is just do it. Just go to bed. I might go ahead and put the pins in these other two sets of stitch lines tonight. I might. Or I might take it upstairs and do it when I'm supposed to be working tomorrow and have nothing to do. Because I finished my work. And it's not my fault. I work faster than other people. I just set my programs up so that's easy to do. I hear a child coming down. I wonder if they'll make me a tea. Trying to keep myself hydrated. I have my supplies here to wrap up Sue and Flutter's boxes and get them sent out, since I'm like forever behind on getting that done. Everything's packaged. I just have to wrap it in black paper, print the labels, tape the labels on, stick them in the mailbox, and raise the flag. Oh, wow, it's not. Ah, there it is. Sometimes it's hard to get these holes to, oh. I have a variety of teas. There's a company online called Harney and Sons, and they do a variety of teas. I actually found them, that brand, at Walmart because I wanted some tea. And they came in these cute tins, and I have this thing about collecting boxes and tins. But I was like, these tins are so useful. I can use them for something else later. Blah, 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 blah. I hope the tea is good. And I loved the tea. And then, like they do of everything else, Walmart stopped carrying it. At least my local one did. So I had the tins. I looked them up online and found they had a whole ass website. And instead of buying the tins of 30 bags or 30 tea bags, 20 tea bags, whatever it is, you can buy a whole bag of this stuff. You can buy it either loose, if you like to mix it yourself or adjust the amount you use, or you can buy it in the pre-made bags. And you can, and I think there's 50 in a bag. So yeah, you can buy it in bulk. And then periodically they run sales. So then you get one where you get the BOGOs, buy one, get one half priced, or buy two, get one freeze and stuff like this. And you buy up what you use. You buy multiples of them and you freeze them to help keep them fresh, which they're in airtight bags that preserves freshness until you open it. And once you open it, then it starts going downhill as far as freshness goes. So yeah, kind of cool. With that, it's kind of cool. So I go to Harney and Sons. I buy teas that I know I like. I will occasionally try something that I've not tried before. The tiramisu tea sucks. It does not taste like tiramisu. I was so disappointed because I love me some tiramisu. And I was thinking, oh, that would be cool to have tiramisu tea. I bet that's delicious. No, it's not. It is not delicious. It is rather gross. So I do not recommend tiramisu tea. It is not what you expect. It is actually rather not good at all. And I do love this brand. I love their peppermint tea. Topher loves their chocolate tea. They have both a chocolate tea and they have a chocolate mint tea. And they have jasmine teas. They have blended teas. They sell the tea that comes in the little pods that when you put them in the water, they burst open and bloom. Bloomin' tea. Loose tea, tea in tea bags, tea in pod. Yeah, they sell all kinds of stuff. They sell CBD teas, CBT infused teas. So yeah, and I just like a lot of the flavors that they have. And it's really cool because when you go and you look at the different teas, they actually give you a flavor palette that explains what the tea tastes like. So if it has hints of earthy tones and stuff like that, you can read the palette. I started to say color palette, but taste palette of it, and it will tell you it's earthy flavorings versus something that's sweet, minty, citrusy, and stuff like that. They give you all that information and a list of what's in the tea. That is her center line. Yay. 2 more lines to go. I'll pin them tonight. I'm going to stop for now because my fingers hurt and I'm trying to not overdo it. Trying to get rid of the pains in my body. I will figure out what the thread's going to look like for the next ones. The brand of tea, here, hold on, I'll look it up for you. They have 300 tea blends. Nothing like having 300 tea blend. Oh, they got a princess tea blend. Apple flavored white tea. So yeah, they have it's time for me to order some teas as a matter of fact. I think I'm low on some of my teas. I need to get the kids to check. And I'll order some, see what they have on sale. You earn points if you sign up with them when you order stuff. It doesn't cost anything to sign up. Every time you purchase, you earn points, and those points can be used for purchases for in the future or money off of purchases in the future. But they have a variety. And they have a Disney collection that it goes off on the 30th that they're getting rid of it. So I need to see what they have because it's like you can buy the tins. So if you have a Disney person, you can buy a tin of each one of them. And so you have the different kinds of tins. and they're on sale. So they have like a Mickey Mouse tin and a Minnie Mouse tin, Snow White tins, Alice in Wonderland. The Moana is sold out. So they only have the Mickey, Minnie, Alice in Wonderland. Ooh, I wonder how many, if they have my size in the t-shirt. It's always tea time. It's a Mad Hatter t-shirt. I would get it in white because then I could paint it. Yeah, see, I got to get this. That's it. Talk about tea. Got to order some tea. See what kind of coupons I have out there in my account. Did you not log me in? It's acting strange. Maybe it's been a while. It's been a while since I ordered from them because last time I went to order, every tea I was ordering was on sale. So I might have wound up with like 4 bags of mint tea. I will. You want me to text it to you? Let me see. Marcia. www.herney.com. There you go. I sent it to you. But I love their teas. Absolutely love their teas. And it's really funny because Walmart does this all the time to me. I will find something that I love and they quit carrying it. They just quit carrying what I like. And I don't know why. There was a creamer that I liked. I only use liquid creamers. And so there was a creamer that I really liked. And they just quit carrying it. And then I found the Stokes caffeine shots there. and they just quit carrying it. And it's been like that. There's been a few things, I found the tea there and they just quit carrying it. Uh, so it was an annoyance, I guess I should say. It became an annoyance that every time I would turn around, what I wanted was no longer there. But as I said, I highly recommend Marcia, who I know likes tiramisu. Do not get the tiramisu tea. It's just not good. It really isn't. So I got you going there. I'll have to check that one. There's a place in Sarasota that has tea. Let me look that up. Is it called Local Tea Company? Elixir Tea House, Royalty, Sarasota Coffee and Tea. There's a few of them. So, but I'm going to wrap up for tonight. Got a late start with Robbie being online. So tomorrow night, which is on Tuesdays and Thursdays, between 9:30 and 10 o'clock, you will find us all hanging out over at Tully's in a Pod. Tuesday night, they do the news, the chatting, sometimes game night. Thursday night, they do some news and some chatting and usually sell crystals, gems, jewelry, resin, and that kind of stuff. Fridays at 7:30, we go over to Get Swamped and watch Robbie's live, where he will start off with chatting, going over things on the farm, new animals in, new animals out, animal trades, new buildings, new enclosures, whatever he's doing. He goes over it, and that he also will answer questions at that time. And then he'll move on to do his sales, currently selling a lot of rocks, crystals, gems, and beauties, some jewelries. When it works out and he can get it, he will buy storage units and sell the items from the storage units or from his local auctions. He tries to find great deals for us. Randomly, when work permits, you can find some of us over at Stacy Northern Aurora Treasures, whose partner makes, which husband I believe they are married, makes 3D printed resin pieces, which are really cool. And she also does some rocks, crystals, gems, some giveaway bags, jewelry, a variety of things. When she can get them, she does the pearls, where she gets the oysters and she cracks them live. And you can, you buy one and she will crack it live right there and pull pearls out for you, which is really cool. And when she goes live, usually Flutter Yo will also go live with her and sell rocks from her local area in Michigan. So she goes out in the evenings and picks up lights off the side of the road or out of the woods. She goes at night because then she can use the black light and see which ones have the mix of rock in there to make it do the glowing under black light. I bought some copper from her and other stuff that she's found while walking in various areas. On occasions, you can also catch Elizabeth's handmade jewelry online. I know she was on at 8:30 tonight, and I was on at the same time, and that's because Robbie was on when I was supposed to go live. If you like watching unboxings, and you love spheres, you have to go see the ball queen, as we call her, Stacy or Diana. Diana buys a lot of spheres and she does unboxings and shows us her area and how she has things set up. And CPR is starting a channel, CPR 58, aka Phil. He's going to be doing one about just motoring around, getting around in a wheelchair in Florida, in his area where he lives. The Spice and Tea Exchange, I will have to look that one up too, because I love a good tea. They actually have one in Georgia. Interesting. I'll have to go check that out. So these are the channels we go to. Subscribe to them. Give them thumbs up on the videos when you watch them. Obviously, I would appreciate if everybody always gave me a thumbs up. Shared the channel and videos with your friends and family or anyone that you think might be interested in leather crafting or even getting a bespoke good. I do take commissions. I am not currently accepting new commissions because I have a bunch of them. If someone tries to take a new commission now, it's like, yeah, you might get it by Christmas. Because I do have a backlog I need to clear out before I take on any new ones and commit to them for this year. So that's where I am right now. One day I will get enough people that I can actually make $1 off of this channel. But that's not why I'm doing this. I'm sharing it because I enjoy it, and think other people might enjoy it as well. If someone watches and learns something or is inspired to do something, then it keeps them going, makes me happy. So I'm going to bid farewell. I will be on tomorrow, probably around 6:30. No, MZ, yours one. I've got this hat. I have a Garrison cap to make that has to be out in July. I have a keychain for Marcia, a keychain for Heather, and then you. So I actually have it in a list. And so I will get that to you soon. And then and in the midst of all this, I have to start drafting a pattern for the mask I'm making. Which that one will be a little bit different because I'm not going to try to draft the pattern online. I hear you, Marcia. So I am going to be on tomorrow. I will set it up to go on between 6 and 6:30, unless Robbie gets an e-gator call. And I will go offline when about 30 minutes to an hour before Two Leaves in a Pod go live tomorrow, which will allow me time to stretch my bones and get drink, snack, or whatever I need and use the facilities. So I hope to see you tomorrow. And I hope you all have a wonderful night tonight and a wonderful day tomorrow. Stay positive. Prayers to those who need them. And be kind to others. Until tomorrow. I'll talk to you later. Bye for now.